Hi, everybody, and welcome to the 28th edition of the ModOff podcast. Today we're going to be talking with a couple guys from the site. We have Alex. We've got Joe.
Hey, guys.
We got Ron.
Hello.
And we've got Tom.
Hey, guys.
So in this edition of the podcast, we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to do the modding. Tell you about what we're doing on the site, and we actually have a modding question to talk about. We'll be doing probably just a rewrap of the 2015 CES, and probably whatever else just kind of triggers out of our minds of what we talk about. So hopefully we'll keep you guys entertained and keep you guys going. So let's go right on to the question. We have a modding question from somebody out there, believe it or not. So the guy says, hey, I love your site, name of your guys' work. What he has, though, is something a lot of people don't typically have. And it's actually like a server box. And I'll pop that up on the screen so everybody can see it. And he's pretty much basically got what you see on the screen here. And he's wanting to be able to cool it. He won it off of eBay, and he wants to be able to cool it. Let's go right on to the question. We have a modding question from somebody out there, believe it or not. Uh-oh. Hold on. The guy says, hey, I love the site, name of your guys' work.
Oh, why are you playing that?
It came... It sucks. So... Sorry about that. It was the recordings popped up on the back side of that for some reason. So as you can see, it's just a regular, like, kind of a server kind of case. It's really kind of narrow. I think Woody, you get maybe an 80 millimeter fan that he can get in there.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I mean, it comes with 80s anyways, but it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of room to put anything very much bigger than that.
He did say it was 4U height in his email?
Correct.
Yeah, so we actually have some pictures of his case, and he sent pictures of it, the actual one that he's got. So this is what he has. So as you can see, there's not a whole lot of space. These are probably, what, the 80 millimeter fans on the back side.
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole lot of space on the back side where the fans are stuff, but he wants to be able to cool it down. I guess it's running hot. Wants to do some things to it. He actually says in there, he says, I love the system. I love the professional layout of the enterprise grade hardware. My intended purpose of this system is a VMware server. So it says it's equipped with 5 80 millimeter noise makers, and not actually my intention, but a wholesale server I was planning to build on my own based upon 120 millimeter or 140 millimeter fans. It says, I would love to hear from you guys and your ideas of making a system of this caliber more apartment friendly on the noise front. It says it's not a 1U loud, but certainly a far cry from a peaceful, quiet workstation. And I suggested some water cooling, and he says water cooling has always been a great idea. I've never intended to go I never needed to go water cool before because I was discovered so many quiet 120 millimeter fans while still achieving power airflow for cooling needs. But he's not going to be able to do that, guys, with a case that they can only fit 80 millimeter fans. I mean, they're not as popular as they used to be. I remember many years from when I was doing it. I mean, you can pick up 80 millimeter fans everywhere and over to that, but now you're getting what, 120s, 140s or above?
Right.
92s?
I don't even know if the 92.
Can you pull up the pictures again?
Well, Noctua has that 92 millimeter that's for servers. I know this socket G34, right? There's the U9DO. That's under 4U because they're new ones, the D9L and the D9L is 3U. And the U9S is can fit under 4U as well, a little over that. So the D9, they have a 92 millimeter D9O that can do that. It won't be, it won't be as good as a water cooling unit, but It's tower cooled. It should be able to fit. He has to measure the roof of that thing though. He has to measure where his case panel will close down to.
Yeah. Well, and there are a couple of water blocks that are available. Coolants makes one, the CPU 388, and then EK has a supremacy block that'll fit the G34 and G32s.
Can you pull up the picture of the rig again?
Yeah. Hold on one second.
But the issue that we run into with servers, especially something like this, is they run hot. We run servers in our data center, and it's it's cooled. And I mean, you pop those puppies open, and without those high-speed fans in there, it's still going to get hot.
Yep, I'm going to have to agree with Tom over here. You actually showed another picture of just a glimpse of CPUs and I think some RAM. Can you go back to that one? And I want to point something out for you. No, that wasn't that.
So if he doesn't mind a bit of modding, he can actually mount a radiator on the bottom panel, put some case feed in there with some extra clearance to actually let the radiator get airflow. And he can probably fit it. Looks like a 360 will fit. I'd probably recommend Hardware Lab Stealth. They're much thinner. That way he can at least put fans. It'll put the total width to about 55 to 60 millimeters thick for the fans and the rad. Because that case has a lot of room in it. You just have to think outside the box. Because if you look at the bottom, there's not a lot of space being utilized.
Right.
It looks like he may have 0 to 1 graphics card installed. So even then, he's got plenty of room. I mean, this could be a potentially very impressive looking system just by working things out. He can mount the hard drives elsewhere.
There's one thing I want to comment on this. If you actually take a look at the picture here, it looks like there's a clear plastic enclosure that goes on top of it. Did you see it?
Yeah.
We see that on a lot of server infrastructures, and what happens is when those fans power on, they're basically blowing the air all across the RAM banks and the actual CPUs as well too.
Okay. Yeah.
These looks like passive cooling CPUs, so that's probably why they need so much air to move around.
Yeah, if you went with just a standard tower cooler and eliminated that plastic housing, you could probably
put a fan on top of it.
Yeah, there's another thing though. Have to keep in mind that those RAM banks are going to get heating up.
Yep.
Looks like it's fully buffered memory.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe like a 200 mil. Mod like a 200 mil set on top of that thing.
Yeah. Basically.
You can look at it's the Z820s from HP. They're very similar in the sense that they have kind of the same setup where they have shrouds to get airflow around.
Right.
But if you looked at those actually have fans on the memory modules.
Yep, I've seen those as well too. So you can consider moving to a different case, just basically transplanting the motherboard. That's pretty much what he's going to need.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then something that is big, like the case that Tom's working on, the Origin case, and I'm pretty sure that's being substantial to fit those two dual CPUs into it.
Yeah, it's $500 though.
Well, it is what it is.
Well, and not only that.
The guy bought it on eBay for sale, so I don't know if he's gonna spend more on his
Well,
case.
he's gonna spend way more than he's expecting that for cooling it to begin with. If you think about it, I mean he's gonna get $200-300 in cooling.
Are those server cases, will they fit transplant to regular ATX, or I have no idea about servers what their form factor is. So
it all depends.
It's a hit or miss. It really is. Like the box we're looking at, I think it's an HP box, and all HP boxes are pretty much have equal spacing on the motherboard where you're supposed to mount them onto. Dells are a little bit more different from the sides, but it's worst comes to worst. If it's a bigger motherboard tray that he has on the new case, we can just tap in screws and mount it that way.
Yeah, it says
you also have to look at the I/O connectors.
It says EATX form factor, so it should fit. EATX, that's all he needs to look for.
unless it's proprietary mounting. Sometimes
Oh, is it?
in the past, I haven't looked at any newer. I would say 10 years plus.
Yeah,
newer
I can't find a larger image of that motherboard, but
Dwayne, can you paste a link to a group chat so we can take a look at it as well?
It used to be Supermicro was like, very proprietary on their mounting holes. You couldn't, and all the manufacturers were that way at one point. You couldn't just take their motherboard out and stick it in a standard case.
Yeah, well, he says a little later on down in his email, he says that that the current CPU is 6 centimeters tall. And he says, I believe I have a clearance of up to 20 to 23 centimeters to put a CPU cooler in there.
and that's pretty tall, actually.
Yeah.
Should be plenty enough, I'm guessing, too, as well. Unless he does it with like liquid or something, which substantially will lower that.
It looks like I see it inside. There's a photo here, and somebody put it in a Lee and Lee DYR PCX 200 2000B. So it looks like a standard layout. Well, that's what he needs to Google. He needs to Google if it's a standard layout, compare it if you can transplant into a case. That's probably the smartest thing he can do. That's cheapest too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Other than mounting like a gigantic fan on top of it, just monitor that. That's the cheapest.
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
Or put a floor fan right next to it. We've seen those where they're blowing into the side of it.
Yeah.
But it definitely looks like a challenge for him. I mean, good luck. I think we've given him some good options. But that's what part of the experience of modding is, though, is trying to figure out your challenges and how you're going to achieve what you want to get. Sometimes it doesn't always work out, and sometimes it works out better than you think.
Do I
Like
just have a budget on this?
Yeah. What's the budget?
It doesn't say anything in the email about the budget, so I'm guessing Peter's probably. I guess he's on a budget since he bought it on eBay. I'm sure.
Well, he said he's willing to buy 2 of the Noctua U12DO, so that's his budget. I'm guessing within that. How much are those?
You're probably looking $25 to $30 a fan.
Oh no, these are heatsinks. These are like, I think these are like Noctuas are like $90 heatsinks. So probably 200.
For liquid cooling in the new case, perhaps.
Yeah.
I mean, worst case, he can do his own mounting holes in a case. Worst things have happened.
Yeah, just about.
True.
I mean, I've retrofitted ITX boards into shuttle cases. Those holes don't line up at all.
Making your own.
But yeah, I think we gave Peter some pretty good suggestions there. I mean, good luck, Peter, on your adventure. Maybe let us know how it ends up a little later on. If you get it all modded out, send us a couple of pictures. We'd really love to show it and see how you came out with it. I mean,
is he posting it on the forums?
No, he sent an email directly to me about it and was asking questions. We get some of these emails sometimes from the people who visit the sites and come in and they say, hey, can you help us with this or help me with that, or do you have any ideas? So I mean, hopefully we'll be doing a lot more of these like question and answers kind of things too.
Yeah,
it really gets the community involved with it, and we can help what we can. We may not be the 100% experts, but some of us have probably tried something and at least say, yeah, try this, or we can look that up, or we can even ask questions of other people.
Well, this is a real question, not like that article I just read. It's not going to get named.
Uh-oh. Ron's already starting on the rant. That's a section a little farther down.
I'm just saying, if you see an ask an expert question, the question does not look like it's natural.
Oh, so you mean it's kind of like talking to like Google? Hey, Google, yes, I'm the expert.
No, when it's like conveniently, it's conveniently allowing you to kind of extol the virtue of something something that just came out that they want you to promote or something like that. Then that's how you know it's BS. You know what I'm saying? Like, say some new graphics card or something came out, and the question just happens to allow you to extol the virtues of that.
Right. Oh, it's amazing how those questions just line up with the...
Line up, I know. All the time. All the time.
Gee, Bob, it's funny that you asked us questions. Just now, it just came out with such and such product over by... Yeah.
Well, I have a question. I'm trying to remember what we saw at CES. Because to be honest, it's been a bit of a blur.
A bit.
I did have fun. There were lots of good things. I mean, it would be great if all of us can go next time. But it's definitely the most fun CES I've had so far, with Mr. and Mrs. Brokaw and Dewayne. It's been fun.
Did my dad go? just ask me.
I'll be going next year, even if I have to sell 2 kidneys.
That means no alcohol for you, right, Joe?
I didn't say they'd be my kidneys.
That's true.
Well, the unfortunate part was that not many were showing. I think, well, how many? What was it? Like 80% of the people we talked to were like, "Oh, we don't have anything this at CES, but we're gonna have a whole bunch at Computex." Yeah, so I think that would be the priority. Is for us to go to Computex this year.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of that was kind of like here's what we kind of have coming out new. This just came out. Where's the good stuff? Computex.
Yeah, that's the goal. When was that? June, right before QuakeCon. So that's the issue there.
Yeah.
No worse than AMD. We're just gonna send the 290X forever. We have nothing planned.
They're not taping out the 20 nanometer? I haven't been keeping track at all with video cards. I have been.
AMD's kind of at a standstill because I think they're doing another staff reshuffle. They haven't exactly had the best past years.
We sat down with AMD. I think we had 2 meetings with AMD at CES. We can't talk about stuff yet. What they have on the pipeline. I don't know. What are you excited, Dewayne? Tom, about what they said? Or?
Yeah.
I'm a bit mixed. I mean,
it's always exciting when you hear about things that nobody else is supposed to hear about.
Yeah. It's hard. It's kind of hard to talk about things that you're not supposed to talk about.
Yeah.
We'll treading lightly, but.
It's almost like having a mistress or something. It's always fun on the site, but you can't talk about it.
Yeah, but all I'm going to say is that there is definitely something really exciting about AMD, and it's not what a lot of people are expecting.
Is it kittens?
I think,
yeah.
I will not say yes or no to that. It might be puppies, but...
Or it might be a crossbreed between puppies and kittens.
Yes, it's a crossbreed of something.
I just got a horrible vision in my head. We should not ever imagine that again.
Maybe you should.
The most loyal enemy known to man.
But I think the one that's not. I mean, one thing is obvious is that they are still going to be doing 970, 990 FX boards. They have 2, I think, that are new, and they said they're going to stick to that for this year at least. So. I
actually want to see AMD do well because that brings competition and not 3.5 gigabyte cards.
Yeah, I mean I don't know what they're planning for video cards. Again, we can't say much. But they are planning something. I think because they are reshuffling. They have a new CEO, and she has like a technical background, so that's a good thing. Yes, that people panic when they saw that there's 3 senior executives left. And I mean, that's just par for the course. Every time you have a new CEO, I'd be more concerned if the new CEO is taking the thing in a new direction. Is not, is not changing the staff to what she can use. It just makes sense for her to do that, for the company rather. So.
Yeah, I think they take a step in the right direction. Sometimes you don't always need to have somebody that's technical or really knows about so much of a product for being the person who's driving it. I mean, if they know how to manage the people and know a direction and see what they want to see. But I do think it's time for AMD to have somebody who has the background and really kind of knows this is where we have to go.
Yeah, you need
start driving it that way.
Yeah, I think
right now is a prime example of what happens when you don't have competition. I mean, AMD hasn't released a new card in a very long time, a high-end card anyway. NVIDIA's just been sitting on the 970, 980 for, when was Mod 24? September?
I thought it was October, but I could be wrong.
I mean, they've been sitting on it since then, and you've seen like classified cards come out from EVGA, but they're still 980s. You're not going to see a 980 Ti. You're not going to see the new Titan. You're not going to see anything like that until there's competition. There's a need to actually use the weapon.
Well, compared to what they have with their CPU, the GPU is actually doing well. But I mean, it's the CPU that's kind of like really needs. And
revamping.
What is clear is that they are not going to be competing on that same level anymore as at the FX level. That's what they made clear, that they have pretty much a mainstream offering, or an offering that their FX right now is competing on a more affordable line, around $200, around that $200 and below.
Right.
And they're basically hitting a price-performance ratio rather than competing with an i7s. They're pretty much giving up with that. That we can talk about. They admitted to it openly.
Yeah, but that's pretty common for everybody, because I mean everybody knows where their sweet spot's at, and of course everything is mid-range, and that's where they can sell the most. So that's where you're going to focus a lot. You're always going to have your top-end performance, and you're going to have your low-end performance. But you're not going to sell like a million Titans.
Yeah.
You're going to sell maybe a few thousand of them. But you've got to push that product to a certain level. It's just like these case manufacturers. They're making $1,000 cases, but they know that the odds are of how many they're going to sell. But it's getting the name out there, showing what you're capable of doing, and then getting people interested in the mid-range stuff, saying this is what you can have, pretty much what you have at the top end, but at a more affordable price. Sure, some of the features are going to get cut back, but it's just like buying a car. Wow, do you really need the leather seats, or can you go with the fake seats or the cloth seats? You're still getting the same product, but you don't have to get all the extra features to get the performance.
Yeah,
I need the leather seats.
Well, yeah, that's for a different reason.
But there's kind of a difference between choosing to go there and being it your last resort, because that's your only move remaining, and that's what people kind of fear. Because that's kind of their only move now, is that area. But they are, again, going to the part where we can't talk about, they are going into areas where we don't think they are going to go. So there is still, AMD is alive, especially in the CPU area. So, I mean, time will tell.
It will. But I think we're gonna, like you said, Ron, we're gonna see some great stuff coming out really sometime this year, hopefully, right?
I mean, the not the G-Sync, but their equivalent was pretty good. The Freesync, that was a good move.
I like the Freesync. I mean, I think some people are gonna, what do they say, kind of like that, smoke and mirrors kind of stuff. But the results that it came out with, I'm sold. I'll play.
The alternative is $200 on top of your hardware already, which is G-Sync from NVIDIA, or $150.
Right, but I mean, they only have one monitor right now that's even possibly FreeSync, and even that requires a a firmware update, if I'm not
Freesync
mistaken.
or G-Sync?
FreeSync, the AMD alternative.
Oh no, they have 28. They have 2 already at CES.
They have 28 monitors with FreeSync.
They had a press release that lists all the FreeSync supported monitors that are coming out within this month.
Okay, well I guess that's what happens whenever you go to CES. Thanks, guys.
I'm pretty sure they posted a press release announcing. There was, I think, the 3 Samsung models already that they are already available.
Yeah, I was only able to find one FreeSync monitor about a month and a half ago because I've been okay. I have no video because the video camera was integrated into my 27-inch Asus, and I am now in the mood to purchase a 4K monitor.
Yeah.
And I figure if I'm going to purchase a 4K monitor and I'm running dual 290s, I want to try and use the FreeSync. And I could only find one monitor that had FreeSync in it, and I was like,
Now, my understanding when we were talking with the AMD guys is, in order to do FreeSync on X monitor, it's simply a firmware update on that monitor. And of course the manufacturer has to make it available. But again, I don't know the models that are supposed to be coming out with new firmware or with FreeSync enabled. So, and I'm sure as we get closer to Computex, we'll see more of them.
There's actually 7 here. I think 28 is what they have pledged for the remaining year. But this is the 7 that they have for January. BenQ, one from BenQ, 27-inch, 2 LGs, 1 Nixus, 2 Samsungs, and 1 ViewSonic.
can you post that list up somewhere?
Let me just.
I mean, is it on Modders Inc. by chance?
Yeah.
Or is that some NDA thing?
Yes.
Screen share here
I'm sure
quickly.
something you found on the line, but we got to see the actual demo of it.
Here's the list here. The 2 Samsung ones were available already by the time this came out. So, but these are the, I don't know if you can see it that big enough. Oh, not with these ads.
Ron, you know what you've just done? You've turned my wallet into a smoking hole. Thank you very much.
Hey, we're all in tech. Doesn't that mean that all of our wallets are smoking holes?
Yeah.
My camera was a smoking hole about, 30 minutes ago?
Yes, it was.
That was really bad whenever you see smoke coming out of your camera.
Yeah, in case everybody didn't notice it, didn't get to see it and stuff earlier, because we were before line. So Joe's having some problems with his camera. It was really, really blurry, so we looked it up in the forums, and somebody suggested to bang the crap out of it. So we see Joe reach up with his hand, boom, 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 and a few minutes later he's like, "Yeah, it's smoking now."
Actually, it said on multiple forums, give it a few whacks, the autofocus gets stuck. Okay, I really don't care about this camera. It's not the first time I've hit electronics to get them to work.
I believe
The
those are
first
called
to work
diagnostic
after 3
tabs.
years.
One other thing I think, another thing we saw a lot at CES seems to be gaming laptops. That's the biggest thing. Everyone was like, so I think for us that's the next frontier of modding. We haven't seen a lot of that. I mean, it'd be great to see you guys what you guys can do with those.
A gaming laptop?
I mean, it's easy enough, right? You just take out the panel and then paint it, do something.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, I could do much more to it than that, but I'm
gonna
willing
need
to
some
throw
razor
myself
blades.
on that. Yeah.
Because it was a lot. There was the high-end ones from like Origin PC, Gigabyte. Gigabyte has like 2 different ones. They have the Aorus ones and they have the main Gigabyte line. Asus, MSI, Intel got a whole bunch. All the Intel ones are like the Dell, Toshiba, Lenovo. Lenovo has that big launch thing.
Does it
But
count
a
as
lot
a
of it is on
laptop?
gaming.
But the bad thing with those, though, I mean, it was like, even the one came with its own backpack.
Yeah.
Because it's so big, it wouldn't fit any standard one, and the thing weighed what, I don't know, 15 pounds or
Are you
something.
talking about MSI, the Titan one from MSI?
Titan MSI with a mechanical keyboard on top. That was beautiful.
It
was beautiful.
It's gigantic.
Inside.
But isn't the whole idea of a laptop is to be mobile and mobile with it, and take it with you? It would be like you needed a separate suitcase for it.
No, they're not called laptops anymore. It's just called the back brace.
Back brace.
They're like 4 inches thick. I mean, there's a point where you just stop.
Right.
It's not that. What was that thing from Jurassic Park? Y'all kept asking if y'all could do it, but never asked if y'all should.
Yeah.
But they also had that external GPU, the one that Dewayne almost screwed up by mistake at that party. Because he unplugged it. He was trying to figure out how it works, and he just
unplugs it.
Wow, I don't remember that. I must have been screwed up.
That was the MSI.
Really, you drove that night?
Yeah, I think it was it was a dock, right? You just basically dock your laptop into it, and you can use external GPU.
Oh, that was at the Intel party.
Yeah.
At the Intel, at the MSI, the second MSI party.
Yeah.
The notebook launch party.
What stays in Vegas stays in Vegas. We don't talk about it.
Way to make an impression, Dwayne.
It was, I know.
Nobody saw, except us.
But that's pretty cool. I mean,
There
how
were
many
2 models that were standing right there looking at me like, oh, you just fucked that up, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, now they know.
Now everybody knows.
This.
Just to clarify, that was not the youngest of the Modders Inc. crew that did that.
It was the oldest. The one
I caused far more destruction than that.
Well, I could blame a lot of things, senility or, just all kinds of stuff I can blame it on.
That GPU was on my lawn.
Get off my lawn. What are you doing?
What you want to see was that 8K screen. I don't even know how to begin describing it.
Yeah, that was.
They only had 2 of those. One was at Samsung, and one was was right in the middle of CES. They were showing it, and I think Dewayne took a photo of it up close, and we took a photo of it from far just so you can see how much detail is on like 1/50th the size of the screen. You can actually read like little signs in the street from like a top view of Rome.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually used it quite a few times at work because one of the guys that we have up there, he's our audio-visual technician guy, and he was asking about it, and I said, well, there was actually an 8K, and I showed him the pictures because you could see where people were standing next to it, how big the screen was.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, you see that little speck of that little sign above that door? And I showed him that picture, and it was like a picture.
Yeah.
When you zoomed in on my phone, the pixels weren't even, you could hardly see the pixels. It's amazing.
It's so sharp. It's hard to describe. I would sound stupid describing it because it's more HD than real eyes. Like what your eyes are seeing. I don't even know if that makes sense, but that's the closest description it is.
Just this last week, I went up to Micro Center, and I mean, I've never actually looked at a 4K monitor. I've heard about them. Their resolution is incredible, and that's why I was like, yeah, I want a 4K monitor. Ooh. And then I decided, well, no, I need to go take a look at that. And I was like, totally blown away by 4K. I can't imagine what would be happening on 8K.
Oh, it was definitely ridiculous. I mean, we're standing there, and I look over, and I think Ron's jaw was just open. He was just, like that. It was just absolutely beautiful. I mean, it is hard to describe.
The colors were amazing too. It's 60 frames per second. So it's not interpolated at all because they were running a video at fast speed for like full 60 frames per second.
And what's the size of the monitor that 8K comes on?
Do you have the photo, Dewayne, handy? Because
It's on my phone.
It's about. I'm guessing it's about 120 inches.
No. Come on now.
Yeah.
It was
You
gigantic.
can't put that on your desk.
No, it's your
Oh
wall.
no! If you're a super villain, you can have it like mounted on your wall.
Yeah. That's what Ron was thinking. That's all he was thinking about the whole time we were there, about how he could dominate the world.
Oh no! Yeah, I need a cat. I said, and I need to have like a Skype chat where you're just with your arms on your back and just walking around, like talking to your minions on that Skype thing. You look like you look like a Bond villain there.
Yeah, like
I do look like a Bond villain.
minions.
I'm already there with a head.
Hey, I'm right
It's a
there
cat.
with you.
The cat would be petting your head.
I am trying to find it. It's on my phone, but
I have the picture of Dewayne taking a picture.
yeah,
I
I mean,
have the
it was-
photo there. For
I just sent it to myself. It'll be here in just a second.
it's just extremely huge. So
yeah, I think it was like 120. I don't.
Okay, well, if it's 120 inches, I think I'll stick to my 4K, my 28-inch that I'm looking at. Uh-oh,
Yeah.
Dwayne's
I
holding
can
something.
see that, Dwayne. Hard to see, Dwayne.
Didn't
but
really see it, but
let me
right
Google it
here,
quickly.
people's heads. There's people's heads and how big the screen is. That's their heads.
Oh my
That's a
god.
The
wall.
screen was at least over 100 inches tall.
Wow. And who made that?
Samsung.
Can we review it?
Yeah, we got a couple coming in. We're gonna play WoW on there. So down in this corner above that door, there's a little itty bitty tiny sign,
Uh-huh.
and it's so clear that
Wow.
is what it says on top of the sign.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I think I have the GPU power to push to those. We should try it.
And I asked him, I said, well, how much is one of these? He's like, well, there's only 2 in existence, so how much do you think it is?
6 kidneys.
It says here it's 145 inches.
Is that what it was?
It says, is it Panasonic?
This might be the one on Amazon that says it's like $150,000, and the reviews for it are awesome. It's like some guys like
No, there's only 2 in
Yeah.
existence.
it'll make the Amazon as soon as it does. You just wait for the funny reviews.
I was going to say, it's probably the same guy that reviewed the sugar-free gummy bears.
Those are horrible. I actually did the sugar-free challenge. I do not recommend it at all. It leads to rectal exorcism.
Okay, it is 110 inch.
Stay on
But
target.
Panasonic has an even bigger one, 145 inch. That they debuted at Berlin.
Wow.
110. That's pretty good.
That's roughly the size of a normal wall in a house.
It was It required like a gigantic external power source.
Yeah.
It had like a size of a VCR for an adapter for the power.
What was it?
Murder.
Intel's booth.
Because the power source was as big as like a typical desk.
Yeah, I think it was a power conditioner with I can't remember what it
Oh
would
my
plug in
God.
there.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's like a small generator.
Yeah.
Do you have to put gasoline in it? I mean, gas is cheap right now. I don't really like that working in oil, but it's cheap.
That's no monitor. That's a space station.
Pretty much.
So
Or
are you guys
the-
talking about CES? Are you talking about monitors? Are you talking about 4K?
Yeah, CES. We're just
Wow.
covering what we saw because there weren't that many new tech, kind of from the consumer side. Everyone was like, "Go to Computex. We're going to show it to you there." Pretty much, like 80% of everything. But then there were some. There were mostly drones and 4K and 8K TVs on the floor.
Wow.
Yeah, wearables, drones.
Yeah, home automation. You saw that awesome. What's that company? I have their card here in front of me. That home automation thing that we saw.
Oh yeah, the guys that had the little Lego-looking USB keys, right?
Yeah, that would be nice to have at home. Just automate everything.
Yeah,
Is
Yeah,
it-
that was pretty cool.
NFC to each phone could be a different profile, and you just set your phone on the bathroom counter. There's an NFC reader chip embedded in the counter. It plays music. It changes the pattern of the shower head. It changes the water temperature based on your profile.
It's basically sci-fi. Like it's similar with what Intel was doing. Did you see the Intel 3D RealSense thing?
Yes.
It's basically like in Mass Effect, when you play Mass Effect, they have those PsyOps thing, like the orange thing in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
They're making those a reality with 3D cameras, where basically you can do gestures.
They were using the Kinect though, weren't they?
The company doing the home automation was, but Intel had their RealSense cameras that they're going to be rolling out this year. That was basically 3D webcams where you can do gestures and you can it's basically what do you call augmented reality?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, kind of like that one, right?
That's a massage rate.
Wait a minute.
That's
nice.
It's actually a massager because the virtual reality lineup was so long. The Oculus Rift line was so damn long. Nobody's gonna line up for that.
It's actually like Back to the Future, Ron.
It's just
You're
a head
actually wearing,
massager.
you're wearing the fashion, man.
Exactly. That's what I was just thinking.
That hurts actually. It's a face massager.
It's trying to make you into a Ninja Turtle.
Oh, that was funny.
Well, there was that giant virtual reality one that it looked like the virtual reality deals at the Epcot at Disneyland. They're hung from the ceiling because they're so heavy. I don't remember what it was called. It was like this giant green and black helmet.
There was that. What was that one they were showing about? There's some guy running around where he has to sit on this platform. He has to wear special shoes.
Oh yeah, that was the what was it called?
It's kind of like Oculus Rift, but it requires your whole body.
Well, I thought it used the Oculus Rift as well.
It was integrating Oculus Rift 12. But the problem was it looked so fake to me because the guy was hitting all the shots. He wasn't missing any shots. No way he's that good. He should have missed like a few shots to make it more realistic. There's no way he was hitting all of that. Yeah. Omni was it? Yeah. And there's a cheaper version that the Korean guys were showing were just they were demoing it with a World at War. Remember that one? It's just basically a gun attachment you put to your piece, like a gun mouse.
Oh yeah.
It recoils when you.
It was way off. I was like pointing off at like the roof or something.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah.
Liars.
Calibration, folks.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the most exciting thing that y'all posted while y'all were there was the food.
Oh, the food was so good.
I'm trying to remember. There were so many.
Do you not remember your food coma from the last
we
night?
only posted 2 of them. We didn't post everything.
Just remember the phrase in the food one.
Yeah, I remember seeing those pictures.
But yeah, I mean,
The sandwich was like as big as Ron's head.
I was gonna say it
That
was.
Eggs Benedict. I picked that Eggs Benedict because I thought it was the healthiest. It turns out there's no healthy option in that restaurant.
Just mail it to Costco and get it over with.
And that Eggs Benedict just happened to be the man versus food item.
Oh my god.
So
Wow.
I didn't realize that it was a challenge.
He read it and said it comes in a bed of lettuce. And
That's what the description is. The description is Eggs Benedict on a bed of greens. What it didn't mention was that underneath that bed of greens is a gigantic bed of mashed potatoes. And then the greens are basically like 4 pieces of leaf.
At QuakeCon, we should do something like that for winning parts. Like eat sugar-free candy until you drop.
Ooh.
You get to fight for a GPU to the death.
Well, speaking of QuakeCon, have you guys started your mod-offs already? Your Staff-vs-Staff mod-off? You're not prepared yet?
Find anything yet?
Oh no. You guys have planned anything yet? I think I have my sketches already.
I've already got my sketches and everything.
Everyone's participating, right? Alex, you participating?
I'm planning to, yeah. I mean, I got a few ideas in my head, but I don't know how realistic they are for the budget that we set.
Have you modded before? I think I'm the only one who hasn't
Yeah,
modded
I'm
anything.
thinking like blood, guts, and human intestines and stuff like that, and then I look at the numbers and they just like, that's not gonna happen. I mean, seriously though, right? I mean, you're trying to make it as gruesome as as memorable as it can possibly be. So, and with the theme that we went with is Doom, and it's just it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really, really tough, and especially for small Joes like me, for example, who don't have much of equipment to use with, like 3D printers or anything like that. So coming up with logos or making everything has to be done through like paper mache or something like that. Shitload of pain.
I'm not using 3D printers.
Well,
I don't have a 3D printer at my disposal.
yeah.
I'm not going to use it because none of y'all do.
Well, that kind of makes sense,
Well, let's recall the rules. It's $250 limit, right?
Yep.
Or is it 150, 200?
No, it's 250.
Are we going to have a uniform case to work on, or is it just going to be random mini ITX, micro ITX cases?
Depending upon sponsorship, we'll see how many we can get. I mean, we might be coming like maybe 4 to get one type, and maybe a couple of other guys get another type.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what we'll do is be able to, say which one's going to best fit your thoughts or what your idea was, and then go from there.
Well, thank God they're small boxes because, a large box, we wouldn't have enough thought to fill those large boxes. So we need the small boxes to...
So that's definitely what we agree on. It's going to be micro ATX and mini ITXs and $250 limit.
Yep.
Prepare to lose, gentlemen. Prepare to lose. I don't know to who, but that's not me, probably. Am I the only one who hasn't modded before? Everyone
I've
has
done
modding
it
experience?
long time ago.
We all did it a long time ago. Just me and like Tom, yeah.
I've modded a couple things.
Just a couple of things.
A couple of things.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting. Is it our biggest staff versus staff ModOff ever?
Yes.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, and I'm assuming is Tony and
Vic?
And Vic joining? I don't know, but Vic probably did, right?
Vic might. I don't know. He hasn't said anything yet about it. I know he's got just things that he's got to take care of. Same thing with Tony.
And there's Nick too.
And then Nick's going to be in it for sure.
Yeah, Nick's going to be in it for sure. 3, 4, 6, 8. So that's at least 8 or 9 people. It'll be a
We
big
just need
table.
the cases.
What was that?
We just need the cases. We don't even need hardware.
Yep.
Yeah, we just need to get started. And that's been
Well,
major.
some of the new cases that we saw at CES, maybe it's now is the time we can start hitting these guys up and start getting them sent out.
Yeah, Thermaltake has those X1 cases, those stackable ones. They have the
X1s, the X2s, and the X9s.
There's also a lot of the even Antec is back in the game. They have those small boxes as well, and Deepcool has a whole bunch of small boxes.
Right.
Shit, I got a smaller box than all y'all. I got one of them Zotac Z boxes out. I'm kidding.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which,
Did you get it?
I did. I haven't unpacked it except just to look at it yet, but it's on my list of things to do.
You can't see me over here because obviously I have no camera, but I'm holding both hands in the air. I'm just like, yes! I'm like,
speaking of Z-Box, congrats to Dewayne for winning that. Officially winning it, right? You win the
I don't know yet.
Yeah, I clicked so many times. You better win.
Now, hey, I didn't ask for any of that.
I only clicked once. It's just
For those who are not aware, basically, Zotac held a contest about, well, not is it a contest? It's sort of more of an invitational, right? Where they asked the modders to.
Yeah, they asked a couple of modders to, create a design of maybe something that would be integrated or maybe even made for the next Z-Box. So, and I said, of course, I'll participate in that. Yeah, I jumped on the chance for doing that, And I was a little afraid that I was going in the wrong direction, because I was kind of making mine more of what I would buy if that's what I was going to do is buy it. And I think I must have went in the right direction, because I saw a lot of great comments on the Zotac Facebook page about people liking it. So.
Well, Alex is sending you a bill for a new mouse because he wore out his clicker, voting on that thing. So.
Again, I didn't ask for anybody to vote.
Well, that's good. It should be. I want Monitors Inc. to win and join more contests this year.
Yeah.
There's that Cooler Master. How many case mods other than the one we're holding? We should be joining them.
Yeah, because I don't even think you can even get to the contest. But yeah, absolutely. Definitely start getting back into doing that, into the case modding stuff on that. I mean, we are talking with a couple of people of actually hosting case mod contests for them. So get ready for those guys in case those do happen.
Would there ever be a conflict of interest if we were to get involved, like say in the Cooler Master competition?
No. I don't see that. Why would it be a conflict of interest? Because they've got all the other guys that they've sponsored.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, we're not tied to them. We're independent.
Yeah, we're not hosting the contest.
Yeah, we're not hosting it. We're not even an official cover. We're not covering it for them.
No, and we do our absolute best to try to make sure that when we do stuff like that we do keep the website and stuff like that separate from participations of those kind of things. That's clear and out in the front. I mean, anytime we'll say, if we are sponsored by or not sponsored by. So that's I don't see that being an issue for anything. So go out there and do that. I mean, it's a pretty good case modding contest.
Yeah, it's a World Series. It's worldwide. No excuses this time. No voting, no public voting. It's just all judges. They separated the public voting from the final score.
Yeah, which is great. That's the way it should always be. Because when you get a public vote, it doesn't go well.
Yeah, it's always a mess.
It just doesn't go well. But they've always done a great job with that contest and always had some good participation.
No, it doesn't.
People who always cry and all those people who are going to bitch and blah, 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 because they didn't win or they should have got first but that's what happens.
Yeah, when you have a contest, you have a winner, you have a loser. You just have to
suck it up,
Buttercup.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot. There's like local LAN events have always had one. QuakeCon has one, which we host.
Yep. PDX LAN has one as well.
PDX LAN, yeah.
And they've got some pretty good talent, that goes up there and competes. It's always nice when I get to talk to the guys that we read about on the internet, and they show up and get to go shake hands and take a look at what they got. It's always fun.
Yeah, it's always a good time, and they're a bunch of good guys too, and that's the cool part is they're all good guys except for a few. But no, actually, they're all really good guys. They all know each other pretty much, and they all help each other. So it's actually, like I said before, I'm kind of jealous actually. They've got that big community that they can feed off of and talk to each other about and help each other out about.
Right.
But they're up in Portland. What else are they gonna do?
Well, registration on the Cooler Master Case Mod competition is open until February 7th. I might think a couple times.
Yeah.
I thought about it too. I have a couple of cases that I could probably use because you have to at least have.
Well, they do Scratch and they do Case Mod.
Right. So
they changed the rules now. You can't enter old cases now. You have to. It's within a certain amount of time or something.
Yeah, I think it's June or July. It had to have been at least started like from mid-year. I think of last year is the oldest that it could be. And I think even when you're doing a scratch build, I do believe you have to have at least one Cooler Master item, and it can't be like a Cooler Master case badge.
Case band?
Yeah, a little case badge you put on there. I mean, you have to have like a power supply or a cooler, or something at least substantial. And I think the cases do have to be a Cooler Master case. But I don't have the page right up in front of me, but I do believe that's what it is.
All right, I think we're almost out of time. We could start talking about what we have coming up. Because it's a lot. We're not just planning. We already are working on a lot of the stuff that we'll be doing this year, starting with the PSU repository that Joe announced on Facebook. For those who are looking at our case models group, we've already reached out, and we already got the database. We're just writing it out. So it should be up by this week or next week. That's something to look forward to, and Joe will be curating it. Joe, who has sleeved from to the moon and back, the total length of sleeving he has worked on.
At least 10,000 PSUs, I heard.
Yeah, so he has encyclopedic knowledge of that. We got that.
It's sad that I have several PSUs that are pinouts memorized. That's always really sad.
And our YouTube channel that we relaunched. Are we deleting the old one now? We should just delete that one, all right? So people are not confused.
We're still getting some things switched over, so we are going to a new YouTube channel. So everything that we have on the site now has already been switched over to that channel. So please go over and find that one. It's Modders Inc. 1. That's where we're going to find it, so do a search for that. Hopefully you'll find it, and please subscribe to it. Ron's already put a whole bunch of our videos from CES.
Slowly, we're adding it. Slowly, we're building it. We're gonna have a giveaway to bring it up. We're gonna have tutorials for case modder for you guys, and I'm gonna put video reviews there as well. Fully produced video reviews. So like that one special items. I'm not gonna do unboxing on a thumb drive just for the sake of it, but it will be. Those are nonsense. It'll be a real review. It'll be like epic reviews. So stay tuned for that.
Well, you know what? We did miss the rant part, didn't we?
I'll write it out. I'll have it in an article. We don't have an editorial yet on our site, so I'll just write it out. We're about coming up to the hour, so.
Yeah, we are. And we're really going to try and work on doing that. Keep it down to an hour or less. Try to keep you entertained and keep you engaged into the podcast. So yeah, like Ron was saying, we got a lot of things coming up. We're going to be putting out more information, doing a lot more articles, a lot more videos. Watch our YouTube page, please. Watch the site. You're going to see them on one or two, and we're going to really push out this stuff, and it's going to be a gangbuster year for us. It already has started out that way, and it's getting just better and better. And we appreciate everybody's participation, and thank you for spreading the word for us.
Well, I'm trying to get in contact with Twitch to see if they'll let me do this, because they've had issues in the past where if it's not gaming related, you can't post it at all. But I've heard mix and match on that, so I'm going to see if they'll actually give me a blessing to do this, where we basically do a live tutorial on sleeving, like a sleeving workshop over Twitch.
That would be awesome.
That would be
I know. I mean, that Mike has his videos, and the Lutro videos are awesome. They're actually how I learned how to sleeve. They're the basis of everything I learned, but at the same time, you don't get that same interaction with just YouTube comments. So it'd be great if we could just have people come in and ask and sleeve one-on-one, or not so much one-on-one, but as a crowd, and ask questions as we're actually doing the sleeving.
nice.
Sounds like exciting. And again, more stuff for you guys. We're doing it for you guys. So thank you very much. And I think that's going to bring the podcast to an end. I want to thank Craig. He was a little scheduling issues, but he's showed up. So thank you, Craig.
Oh, thank you for having me. Sorry I was late.
Joe, thanks for showing up again. I mean, we can't do a lot of this stuff without you guys. We got Ron, and He's our Canadian. He's our Canadian leader because we have the guys in Texas. We have our Texas crew.
The Canadian chapter.
I'm the Arizona chapter, and Tom is up there in Oregon.
Right. Dewayne is one of the original 6.
That's me, man. What was it? It'll probably show up backwards, but I won't do it anyway.
Yeah, we worked out gang size while we were in Vegas, but
yeah.
I can't remember if it was because we were drunk or we were just crazy. I don't know.
I think it's
Both.
A bit of both.
What would it be? Freesync would be like something awkward like this.
The eye is a middle finger, I think. Dewayne decided that the eye would be a middle finger.
Oh dear.
But it definitely the booze was talking.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to bring this to an end. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.
We'll see you
See
all
you
around.
guys.